All right, looks like we're being recorded. All right, so hey, I'm Nathan Seuss, a teacher here at Lincoln Middle School. I teach social studies, I teach web, I coach track, all sorts of things. I love it here at middle school. Been here for 19 years, 20 years now. It's great. Love the middle school and everything it has to offer. And for me, um, you know, being virtual and being hybrid and being at school has offered a lot of different challenges, but it's been rewarding because of all the different things that I've had to learn. I'm with here today with Aiden Sullivan. I have Aiden in my social studies class, also my web class. He's a web leader here at the school and does a fantastic job with that. So Aiden and I are just going to go talk about a couple questions and throw some things at him, and we'll see what he has to say. So Aiden, you want to say hi first and introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Aiden Sullivan, 8th grader here, and I've gone to Lincoln my entire life, and I play multiple sports like baseball, soccer, and yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. And I really appreciate you doing this and your parents giving permission for that too. That's awesome. So Aiden, first question I'm going to ask you, how do you feel about how COVID has affected you? How has it affected your life, your education, your social life, et cetera? Anything else you'd like to talk about, how COVID's affected you personally?
For me, when COVID started, I thought it was going to be like kind of like a spring break vacation, but it turns out it's been a lot longer. But for me, it hasn't really changed much of my life because after like a month or so, baseball got started back up. I've been doing that since April, just haven't stopped. Uh, I have kept in touch with all my friends. We use a Google Meet here on my Chromebook, and we talk to each other like all the time, even at night. And so I've kept in touch with all my friends. I think my grades are pretty good. They're still like where I want them to be, and nothing's really changed for me. But I know for some people that has changed a lot.
Has the Chromebook really helped out? The fact that the school had Chromebooks for everybody, has that really helped you guys out, like staying
Uh,
contact?
definitely.
Are there certain things in the Chromebook you guys use? I know some kids use like Google Hangout and stuff. Is that something you use? Or?
Yeah, we use Google Hangouts, and then most of the time, like at night, we'll just be on a Google Meet, like playing video games or something.
Oh, cool. Right yeah, that's awesome. You talked about your grades for a little bit. Have you felt like it's been more of a challenge to keep up with grades, or has there been certain things that have helped you?
Getting back to school in person has definitely helped a lot because when I'm at home, it's more difficult to pay attention, but it's still not like too big of a challenge.
Yeah. Just a lot of distractions, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially getting up, I think. So how about this one? Have your teachers or anyone in the community helped reduce any stress or anxiety about COVID, social skills, or education? I know sometimes kids have talked about how stressful this has been. And if so, how have those people helped you?
Definitely, I would say my teachers, Mr. Seuss, Miss Weathers, Miss Dix, when they post assignments, it's never like too big of a task to do, and they usually help you with it. Like in Mr. Seuss's social studies class, we always go over all the assignments in class, so you don't have to do much homework. And in Miss Weathers' class, she tries keeping things positive, and we play like silent seat ball sometimes when we're done with all our work.
That's awesome. Yeah, very cool. Um, so can you talk a little about virtual school and being online? Like, I know like you talked about distractions and how that can kind of limit it. But have you learned any new skills that you might like use in your, life in the future, or maybe academic life, social life, whatever?
I would say the skills I've learned mostly from this year are just computer skills. Like I've learned a lot about Google Docs, Google Slides, and I feel like that can be a lot like more helpful when I get older, like in college and like for job applications. So I would say technology wise, I've gotten a lot better and I've gotten a lot faster at typing, even though I don't type like necessarily well. But yeah, that's what I would say was technology.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, that works. All right, so we talked a little bit about it, and I know you came back a couple weeks ago, right? And I think in November you came back for that week that we were here. So talk a little bit about coming back to school or actually in the classroom. Are there challenges there? Are there fears there? Are there certain expectations you're going to have? Or
I would say the only challenge is waking up, but for me, waking up isn't like a big challenge. because once I take a shower, I'm ready for the day. And in school, I would say it's a lot easier because I can pay attention a lot more, especially in social studies. Because for me at home, social studies is very difficult to pay attention to. At least every 10 minutes, I'm like checking my phone
Yeah.
or doing something else. So in social studies and in math class, I'm a lot more alert and active, like with the teacher and with all the questions being asked. And ELA is definitely one that in school, I can get help from Miss Adams a lot easier than just writing her emails. So yeah.
I think, I think the distraction of the phone is definitely something that kids have talked about before too. Just kind of having that phone always right there to look at. I think adults the same way, just having that constantly be there. Were there any like apprehensions or fears about coming back to the class, or like why'd you wait so long, or like things like that, or I don't know.
I didn't come back right away because online, for me, it's not like too much more of a challenge, and I don't have to wake up as late. And I usually work out like once I get home from school, so it's easier for me not to have to come back and forth. But I'm glad I am back now.
Good. Yeah, and I'm glad you're back too. To me, as a teacher, it really helps that you're, especially being a leader, that you're in the classroom. I think people feed off that. And they see you. I know that you started on a camera a lot at the beginning of the year and then kind of slowly faded. I think maybe because you woke up and it's just easier not being on camera. But it's definitely, I love that leaders are back in the room as well. How about this? How do you feel about this? Because this is one thing for me. I feel that I haven't had, and you're one of those kids, and that I wish I would have got to know a little bit more, right? Because that's where my bread and butter is. Like, that's what I love about teaching, is getting to know kids and having those relationships. And the screen, the masks have really been a barrier for me. That's why I love coaching track and stuff, because you get to hang out with them. And but how do you feel that relationships with friends and teachers have been affected by the pandemic?
Definitely. Like teachers in my past, I know so much about them during the year, and I know if they're like in a bad mood, not to like irritate them at all, just get there, get out. But yeah, I would say it is a lot more difficult to like get along with your teacher, especially when you don't know them very well, because I don't know if you're gonna be in a good or bad mood. I don't know if you like jokes or anything like that. But for teacher wise, it's more difficult. But for friends, since I stayed like in good touch with all of them, I would say it's pretty much the same.
Okay, very cool. And then just to kind of sum everything up, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to talk about this school year, and kind of your thoughts about this whole experience?
I would say it's definitely been interesting and challenging for most people, but I feel like getting back into person is the key because 4 days a week, everyone's going to be paying attention. Everyone's going to be doing more work because that's what's been like lacking, people not even doing their homework. But yeah, I would say getting back into person will help a lot more for the transition.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely think so. It made me think about Wednesdays, because you said 4 days. Wednesday is a key day, isn't it? Like, what do you do? What do you do on a typical Wednesday?
Usually I try to set an alarm for like 9 a.m. And then most of my teachers post assignments. They post mostly Spanish, math, and some Spanish. But yeah, I would say it's not like a difficult day. But if I'm ever like I need to work up for some work, like I'm behind on it, I can get that done, or I can get ahead of the work so it's done earlier. But some Wednesdays, I just take it as a free day off because some days I'm just not in the mood to work.
Well, and I think that's probably a good point, right? I think sometimes that day is, we've used it a lot for makeup work or extra credit or office hours and things like that. But I think right now it's really important, because we've done second steps a lot in our home base, and really talking about kids' mental health and stuff is important. Do you feel like you're in a good place with that? Has second steps helped you with that, the social emotional learning?
Definitely. I would say like all that breathing exercises and all the stuff we talk about stress and like changing it into positive stress instead of negative. I would say that's definitely helped like throughout mainly school, but my personal life too.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. Well, I want to say thank you. I know this is big for a 13-year-old kid, and I appreciate it, and that you're mature, and I appreciate you having in class, and I appreciate you being a web leader and doing this for us as well. So thanks so much. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Have a beautiful day, man.
You too.